Hey everybody, it's Emily here, and I am at GDC 2024. I am reporting for AR Insider and coming at you from Hopscotch Interactive, and I am here again with my friend Timothy Johnson, game developer and founder of XGen Studios. We're catching up. It's been a few months.
It has.
Timothy, tell me what has been going on.
Well, happy spring, by the way.
Yeah, hey,
spring.
happy spring.
What has been going on? So much has been going on. So last we talked, I was getting ready to go to DreamHack in Atlanta, which was the convention for gamers and competitive gaming, as well as indie games, all sorts of everything game related, including tabletops. What I was getting ready there was the platform that we were launching called Chat Arcade. Chat Arcade, we launched it in December at DreamHack with one game called Tribunal Tactics, and we had a booth set up, and I got to just meet a lot of people, show people what was going on. And for those of you that remember, it's a game that you play directly in Discord, and it was a really, really good event. Like, we got to meet all sorts of people who, I mean, everybody's in Discord. There's 200 million people playing in
crazy.
Discord.
It's crazy numbers. 200 million people on Discord.
Yes.
Daily active users on Discord.
Yes.
Okay, like that's insane.
Yeah, and so everyone we met, of course, knew exactly what Discord was, and got really excited about playing these games with their communities, with the communities they already have. And Tribunal Tactics was, it is a strategy game. And what I found really quickly was that while we drew a crowd and people were really interested, that game wasn't exactly serving the audience that we were attracting. What I discovered right away is that we were attracting content creators, young content creators who, less than 1,000 followers so far, who are doing Twitch streaming, YouTube creation, and just doing all sorts of stuff, but also skewing more female. Okay. And they wanted to play games with their community, absolutely, but this one was a little too, on the nose, killy stabby. They wanted something that was a little bit more social, still definitely lots of fun and making fun of each other and cutting people from the game, but something a little bit more socially interactive. And so we had already planned for a game called Chat Wars, but from the feedback that I got from that crowd and hearing what they wanted, we ended up taking Chat Wars and kind of turning it on its head. It was going to be a little bit more Cards Against Humanity style, and instead rewrote it exactly for what they were looking for. I think we came up with something really fun.
Prepare yourselves. The chat war is about to begin.
So this is Chat Wars now, and when I talked to you last, you showed me Tribunal Tactics, and I thought that the game was awesome. I thought that, it was really cool, and I thought that the strategy was fascinating, but it was definitely, like you said, a little bit backstabby.
Yes.
This takes, so Chat Wars takes, like you said, this new audience that you learned about when you were at DreamHack, which ended up being mostly female, and also you said, when you say 1,000 followers, these are people on Discord that have a fewer than 1,000 followers, right?
That's right. These are content creators who are just getting started attracting their own audience. Okay,
so they have a motivation to maybe grow on Discord, but also they probably have a tighter knit community because they most likely know a lot of these people, or are so they would know something about their personalities, one might think.
That's right.
Okay, so in Chat Wars, one of the things that I think is interesting, and I know you're going to tell me about it and tell us about it in a second, but Chat Wars is you're thinking about coming up with creative answers to questions that are posed to you, but it's a challenge. It's like a challenge question.
Yes. So the gimmick with getting any of these games to work in the Chat Arcade platform in a chat stream is that you have to play it using slash commands, you have to play it by adding reactions, and you kind of have to use just what the tools are available of Discord. And so round-based play is also just kind of a good model to go after. And Tribunal Tactics is absolutely round-based. But this one, and Tribunal Tactics is also one of those games that you could do very asynchronously. You and I could play that kind of like Risk, over days.
I see.
With 70 people over days, where what I was being asked to make from our community is something that's nice and streamable, that is has graphics, that has maybe some animations, it has audio. Very hard to do in a Discord game, by the way.
It sounds hard. I mean, I've never tried it, but I've seen what you've made, and that already just is like, it looks hard. Like, it looks hard to program.
Yes, and also just kind of hard to pull off because of the medium, because it's so they wanted something streamable. They wanted something that they could get more of a smaller game session, to where it could be like a 15-minute or a 20-minute session, and something that was a little bit more group interactive. And what I mean with that is that you kind of have these nice focal points where everybody votes on something, or everybody has to do an activity right now within 30 seconds or a minute. And that's what they were looking for, is that kind of like tighter, not exactly synchronous, but much more synchronous engagement. And so that's where all of my work in the past 7 years of building generative AI and building different types of AI models and doing voice cloning and image recognition and all the different, like all the pieces of my life so far, I was able to incorporate a lot of those techniques into creating something that I think is really funny. I think is pretty compelling, can be skinned 1,000 different ways, and can, I think, get a group of people. It's a party game. It's something that a lot of people will sit down, they'll start to play it, they'll be making fun of each other, they'll be having a good time.
Yeah, and you mentioned also, I think it's really important because a lot of the people that will be listening to this and hearing this interview, you mentioned generative AI and you mentioned voice cloning, and I think that because it is such a huge topic for everyone right now, and I've been really deep diving into Gen AI, and also this voice cloning stuff is really mind blowing. But the way that you've sort of made it becomes part of the gameplay in a way that I feel like it actually has, it truly has a personality. Maybe you can talk about what makes it feel like you're not chatting with a bot, and what makes it feel like this is gameplay, you know, well, obviously with your friends, but like, where does Gen AI fit in to the structure of what you have right now? And like, how were you able to make it so lifelike? Or how were you able to make it, you know what I mean, like a real personality?
Enigma Bot and Janice Bot, neither of you have had much success in this game so far. Let's change that now. One of you will win, the other sacrificed.
So with Chat Wars, to set everybody up on what happens here, everyone that plays the game is hosted. It's hosted by, well, I can't use this forever, but for now I'm going to use it. It's hosted by Emperor Shao Kahn from the Mortal Kombat series in Outworld. And this actually started as a joke. It will change, don't sue me.
Yeah, nobody's suing Timothy about it, please.
So the bot is hosting, it's a game show. It is a game show that Shao Kahn, the Emperor, is hosting. And it is called Chat Wars. So everyone in the game has to play, and someone is eliminated at the end of every round. And so building the trickiest part was making a host that felt interactive, that felt like they were actually listening, that has its own personality, that can be nice and biting. That's why I picked Shao Kahn, because to me he's kind of like Emperor Palpatine, like super evil but also goofy.
Yeah.
And so there's like a lot of room there to like have fun. Everyone knows who the big evil guy is, and for him to have to host like Family Feud, I think is just super fun.
It's really funny, yeah. And you already feel like you're being like, well, you're already. I think that I was insulted as soon as we went into the game, which like you can't take yourself too seriously already if you're playing Chat Wars on Discord, and you have to be ready to like, you know, you have to be ready for some banter, is what it seems like.
Yes.
So that's great. Yeah, I think that was the right direction.
Thank you. The thing that makes him feel even more, and so you're asking like, how do I make it feel so lifelike? And it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors, because I've written the generative AI in such a way that it is, there is like a kind of a core motivation of what the Emperor is supposed to be doing, but in a personality type that I've put in for him. But he also reads what is being submitted to him, he reads what's going on, and then I'm able to do like similarity scores based on like what you've been saying.
Okay.
And do lookups into like, oh, this person's a little bit more techie, or this person's a little bit more, you know, kind of just phoning in their answers. And what he says back to you is based on like 10 or 12 different like ranges of should he be mean to you? Should he feel sorry for you? Should he, pat you on the head? And so that's where these responses are coming from. But also he's got like a main game script he's kind of following.
Right, and he's like the only character really that is going to be an AI character, right? Like that's so we know that the host of the game is this AI character, but then everybody else could and hopefully will be friends from Discord, right? So so we know that this is like, but it's a really critical role in the game to make sure that you nail that because that's so central to the gameplay.
That's right. The other thing that makes him feel more real and it feels like he's really insulting you is the fact that using music cues, audio stings, and then I'm also, he's speaking with a voice. It's a cloned amalgamation of actors that I've put together to make a voice for him. And the way that I've written the clone, the voice clone synthesis is to impact and say things in such a way that it sounds like he actually means what he's saying.
Yeah, it really does. It's kind of shocking, and I'm excited to share it with everybody, so that they can see this for themselves. So the game Chat Wars has been something that you've been working on really with kind of like an immediate iteration from the feedback that you got at DreamHack.
That's
and
right.
We're at GDC today, and I'm just wondering, like, when you think about what you're building and you are looking at what these other indie creators are making, like, how do you feel like you fit into the indie creator scene? Do you feel like this is the Game Developers Conference also like supportive of this kind of content that you're creating or of this game that you're creating? Mm-hmm. Or do you feel like you're still sort of in a phase where it's not fully launched yet into the world? Like, where are you at with like fitting into the ecosystem?
Yeah, I'm still at the beginning, and I'm starting to feel a little bit more like everybody else is starting to come to the same conclusion that I did last year, mm-hmm. of this convergence of technologies, this convergence of just where people are and how they not only consume media, consume games, consume content, but how they consume it with each other. Mm-hmm. Went to a talk this morning where it was actually Discord hosted, where they had a bunch of people from Riot. They had the guy from Pal World. Incorporating Discord in those communities is starting to become first class to how they think about it. So I still feel like I'm like maybe either one step to the side or one step ahead maybe of like, I'm just gonna put the games directly in there.
Yeah.
But so I talked to the guys at Discord, I showed them Shao Kahn. They laughed very hard. And they ended up giving me developer access to
amazing.
Their activity system. Well, they actually opened that up yesterday for everybody. But I've got a couple of extra pieces they're giving me of like really early alpha stuff that they're working on.
That's fantastic. So I love that the folks at Discord were really saying to you, hey, like, keep going on this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, was this your first time that you had been directly in contact with them here at GDC, or have you been in touch with them directly other times?
Yeah, I've been a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Last year at GDC, they actually had a booth set up. Their booth this year is a little bit different, but last year they had set it up to where they were trying to show people that you could do things in Discord that wasn't just chat. Like and they were kind of in the same idea of space as me, except in their booth it was like if you hit / in some command and then pass in a value, it would turn a light on over here or it would turn a light on over there.
Oh, wow.
And they were showing like, hey, this could be used as like a communication tool to do stuff.
For sure. And as long as it's all IoT, like then you can use the commands in Discord to basically power on and off things. I mean, I can see that that's a pretty cool parlor trick. That's a cool parlor trick, right?
I think they just hooked it up to like Zapier or something.
Sure, okay.
It was really, really, really cool.
They get the zaps going. Okay,
exactly.
Got it.
And then I had like a really early prototype of Tribunal Tactics that I showed them last March. It was really early. And they were all kind of like, well, that's really cool. I'll see it when it's done.
I see,
okay. And
yeah.
And now this year they're like, this is really cool. Here's all this stuff.
Cool.
Go and make more stuff.
Great, yeah. And I feel like that's what's so exciting about talking to you on this journey of, as you've explored these ideas. And I think you are, I would safely say that it steps ahead rather than steps to the side because, I mean, maybe in some areas, maybe, it could be both. But, the fact that you came to this conclusion and you've already been building this for so long, you already had a chance to get it into people's hands. And now you're at GDC, and I feel like I'm not seeing much else like this here. I mean, I think that that's pretty cool. So what are the other things that are inspiring you while you're making this game besides the community? Like, what else has made it into your creative process?
Yeah, the idea space, and this is like one of my, I say this a lot, but like one of my core things is that like, if you have like a game or a design or something, you show it to, it could be anything. You show it to someone and they start to yes and it immediately, that means it's a very designable idea and it means you're onto something. And that's been kind of like waiting for that to not happen with this. Show it to someone and they're not like, oh, you know what else you could do?
Right on, yeah, totally.
And so that's been really inspiring of like seeing other people in different games they're building and like showing off this kind of stuff and like, oh, actually, maybe my game could work in there. And I've already had a couple people ask if like I had an SDK, could they get their game on Chat Arcade? So that's inspiring. That's way down the road.
Got it.
I don't have enough bandwidth for all that. But
I got you. So tell me more about the game and how people can test it out or how they can join. Obviously, like Tribunal Tactics is already live and is out there. I think you had 2 games that you were showing at DreamHack, and but Tribunal Tactics, or you've written a bunch of games, just so everybody knows.
That's right.
Like, he's got a lot up his sleeve. So Chat Wars, Chat Arcade, Tribunal Tactics, like there's a lot more that I think we're gonna see from you as you find out what sticks and what works and where you get that traction.
Right.
But yeah, maybe you could just tell us a little bit more about what what you're thinking and where you're going to go next.
Yeah, I think this, now that I can get access to Discord's activity system, and this is kind of where I wanted to go with it because it's a much more interactive, visual, instant feedback kind of thing where you can actually like play golf with each other. You can, do play more like a game engine with each other. But pairing that with the engine that I've already built to where it could still be running in the channels, all the state could be still, asynchronously done outside of the activity, alongside of the activity, streamed on Twitch separately. So what I've got is a way to combine all of these things together into one shared piece that's kind of just works anywhere.
Awesome.
Really excited about that.
That's so awesome. So one piece that works anywhere. And you mentioned the streaming on Twitch. And actually, one of the ideas that I had was I want to try that. I want to try doing Chat Wars with some friends, and I want to stream that because I think it would be super fun, and I've never done this before. So I was hoping that you would help me with that, and that we could, right? And then we could like see what happens. I mean, I've got these viewers here, whether it's folks that are going to be watching the video, or maybe they'll find you on Discord or through everybody's different channels. And then we can see what it's like to run this thing live, because I have a feeling that this is just like pretty much every other game. It's like you have to play it to understand how fun and cool it is. I mean, we can talk about it, but we want to show people. And then I think also the ability to have that human, like that real live human element, plus the competition, plus the, the thoughts. I mean, you're having to, like, just one more time, just so people understand the gameplay element. Like, it's rounds, you get a prompt, and then everybody has to respond with their best phrase for that prompt, right?
Yeah. So there's different games, and so each round is its own little mini game.
Okay.
And so the host, Shao Kahn, will pick one based on the current state. How many players are left? Is one person dominating? Like, because of that, there's some heuristics where he'll choose like something else. The one he's gone back to, which I'm glad you like the name too. The main round is called Topic Thunder.
Oh yeah, Topic Thunder.
And so
I love it. I love it. So fun. It's so good. Yeah.
So he will pick someone at random. Well, not exactly random, but he'll pick someone and say, "Hey, so and so, give me a topic." And then you have to do /topic, and it could be anything. You could put in, something about like being lost in the woods or my eyes hurt. It doesn't matter. You type in whatever you want.
Super random. Doesn't matter.
He's gonna make fun of you for your topic.
Okay.
No matter what, he makes fun of everybody. And then he will generate a question based on whatever the topic is. And so the question, and he has his own parameters of how silly and how absurd he can get. And so he'll ask a question. Everybody gets to answer. Everyone who's still in the game gets to answer. The answers are all anonymous, and they're not posted. So when you do like /answer, you type in whatever it is, it'll just give you a little thumbs up saying you've answered. He will then show all the answers anonymously in a random order, and voting begins. Everybody then just adds any reaction to any of the answers, and then the highest one wins, and then whoever is the least voted is going to be eliminated.
They get knocked out.
They get
knocked out.
or fed to an eldritch god who eats the night sky.
Exactly. We don't know what terrible perils will
That's right.
meet that player, but they're out. But that might not be the end of their gameplay, right?
Right. Just because you're eliminated doesn't mean that you don't get to vote.
Got it.
And he gives. There's also because you can play with bots as well. So you can play with your friends, a mixture of friends and other bots. There's times where if the human player gets knocked out and the bots are still playing, where he'll just do a mercy killing of a bot and let you come back into the game.
I like that. I like the mercy killing of the bot.
Yeah. So he'll do. He's got little things he'll do where he can change outcomes. I mean, he is the emperor. He can do whatever he wants.
For sure. Yeah. It's his throne room.
That's right.
So cool. So if people want to follow your story and stay in touch, can you just let us know what the best way to reach you is?
Yeah, I think probably if you go to chat-arcade.com, that's the main site. There are links to the Discord are in there, description of the games, videos of people playing the games. That's all there. Or if you, and we'll put the link here in the description of the video.
For sure.
Just directly in the Discord. So it's the Chat Arcade Discord. It should be searchable, but we'll have a link so you guys can click on that.
Cool.
I'm always on Discord and I'm almost always awake. So and
He never sleeps.
My handle is Tim of the North. So just come in, say hi. I'm probably in there working right now.
For him, it's basically like it's like the days of the year in the summer when the sun never sets, right? You're living in Scandinavian time where the sun never sets. Tim of the North.
That's right.
So those are the ways to get in touch with Timothy Johnson, and of course the Chat Arcade, Chat Wars, Tribunal Tactics, and make sure that you come back and follow us so that you can be updated when we come back with the next round of updates.
Yeah, and
with
streaming is going to be super fun.
Streaming is going to be ridiculous.
We can get that set up super easy. So.
Totally. And I'm glad that we're here at GDC. I feel like this is a moment in time where, we can say we were here, we were at GDC, and I got to chat with you at this point. And like you said, it's still early days, but there's a lot to come. So thanks so much. And
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
All right, cool. Awesome.
You're so good at this.
Boom.